Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. My name is Alckemy. Today, you and I are going to be kicking it and having some fun. Just sorry, making sure that my mic is working and taking a look at some of the beat surfing stuff on a deeper level with a track that I started. So yeah, we're gonna hop into that. I do need to do one thing, which is what I do at the beginning of every stream, which is we take a look at the quick play spells. And I think that we've only got one today. So we're just going to take a quick listen to this. I'll give a comment on it. If you all want to do this, what this basically is a 15-second or less demo submission that you can submit once per day. And then at the beginning of the next stream, I'll just review it. It's a cool way for you all to share what you're working on and let me know where you're all at with your music production. And yeah, just kind of give back to the community of like, hey, play something, show me what you got. So join the Discord, and also our community is pretty sick. Big shout out to Beat Surfing. I love these guys, man. I just the level of communication and their philosophy on how they do things is something that I really admire and I really appreciate. And part of the reason why I'm reviewing their stuff and whatnot is because I reached out to them. I think was it last year for taking a look at their random stuff, and I was like, what does this do? And they were actually like, yo, why don't we hop on a call and we're actually going to go through this with you and teach you not necessarily what's under the hood of what everything does, but like just fill you in on how on the schematics of it, I guess. So I won't be able to necessarily create something like random or random metal. I mean, I could, but it would sound totally different. But yeah, I just thought that was really cool because I don't really feel like companies and all that have the time to sit down with somebody to educate them on what the heck is going on. So for this project, we've got a few different instances. For one, we have Low. I just uploaded the review of this yesterday. We're going to be working on the same track if you're interested. We have an instance of Random Metal, and then we have an instance of Random. And what I'll likely be doing is also taking a look at cheat code for the first time, which I've been just meandering with on here. We'll probably use a little bit of everything, to be honest. I'm not saying that I'm going to use 100% only beat surfing plugins. I had talked with him about doing that, but I had already started this idea, and I'm like, why don't I just do this? Because it's actually a good idea. So yeah, here's what we're working with. So it's already a pretty strong idea, and some stuff that I want to do with this, maybe just write down a few notes with some objectives is I would like to, sorry, let me go to the info. We're going to check out cheat code. We are going to incorporate 7 deadly snares, as well as the shoot, what is the name of it? It's like the tabletop drummer or something like that. Lunch table. We'll add an instance of lunch table because I think that there's some cool stuff that we can do with that. We'll probably play with trying to come up with a B section, likely with random metal, or maybe what I could do is with metal and come up with some more clanks and stuff like that, because that's kind of what I'm feeling like this is wanting to go to. But yeah, we're gonna see how far we can get through all of this. But yeah, let's start with cheat code. So maybe what we can do is start here with the intro, and then let's throw cheat code on here. Well, it already is, but let me go into that's pretty cool. Wait, what is this? Is this the mix? What am I automating? Okay. Um, oh, here's the mix. That's what I wanted to do. So we'll do this and then we'll cut it off kind of like so. Let's see what else we can throw over this. Let's maybe try for a reverb and see what we got here. It's pretty cool. Hey, what's up, Tech Funk? I like the stereo preset in cheat code. Well, I'm curious, before I keep going, how do you all feel about this? Sequence delay, shuffles, ooh, slicer, tape delay, downsampler, fractal delay, grain delay. I'm curious, is there anything on here? Maybe it's spin. What is this? Yeah, that's pretty sick. I like that. So let's open that back up and we'll go back to the it mingles hard. Feel best for flavor on sample versus overall mix, but I tried. When you say mangle is hard, you mean like it just like this is really good for like destroying the sound and whatnot? Yeah, I'm like just kind of going through this and seeing what my initial first impressions of it are. Like, uh, obviously, I would always like there to be more effect inserts and stuff, but there will be a time, probably when I get to the drums and stuff, where um, I'll run this through and I'll break it through whatever sound is, kind of like with what we do with Beam. Reverser and Slicer are my favorite. Okay, yeah, I mean, shoot, let's throw that on there and let's just see what we can get out of it. Cheat code. And let's go clear and let's take a look at the slicer. Okay, let me see what this is. Sorry, let's do this here. And then let's see what this is going to do. I think I'm soloing. Yeah. Beat surfing, what's on that slice grid? What slice grid? Are you talking about this? I think that it's just a visual thing. It would be super cool if there was a way to pattern up. Oh, what is this? This is stretch? ADSR, ADSR mid, ADSR low. Okay, let's see what this does. See, the thing that I like about this is that it is slicing it, but it's not abrasive. It has little pink boxes. Yeah, this is just a representation of what the pattern means, but precise multi-band cuts and stutters is definitely one of those looks unbelievable, sounds pretty damn good type of plugin companies. From what I've seen, they've got the extra mile in the UI because hell yeah, brother. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, the thing that I like about this though is like, do you see like it's cutting, but it's not. It's very soft in the way that it does it. It's there's not like a whole lot of jaggedness to it. Um, it's a little unpredictable as of now, but I mean, I would probably just turn all of this up. But I guess what's cool is that you can do this based off of a frequency split as well. So like, what if I just wanted to like maybe keep the bass in here and then only cut the mids and the highs? Yeah, that's fucking sick. Yeah, I like that. Interesting. I would like there to be some control with the pattern on here. I don't know. I've never been the biggest fan of like pre-selected patterns, and it does seem like there's quite a bit to choose from. But I'd always want to be able to be like, you know, pop this up on a second window or something, and then just dial something in. And part of the reason why is, and I think that's what the stretch is meant to do. But this is one of the big issues that I have with something like Infiltrator is that it Infiltrator has swing, but making stuff have offset is kind of tedious to work with unless if you turn the grid completely off. Um, yeah, man, I just want everything to have rubato. That's that's just my own personal thing though, but I like that. That's pretty cool. What was the other one that you said to take a look at? Slicer and hey Arl. Where are we at? Slicer and reverser. Okay, thanks. Slicer and reverser. Let's take a listen to what this does. Um, okay. Okay. Well, I've been dead silent for now. Got an idea of the. Got a dose of industrial. Got you typing for them destructive peeps. Oh, destructive deeps. Love industrial. Yeah, this is interesting. Okay, so how do we get the modulation on here? I did not read the manual. That's one of my things that I never do and I probably should. Is it a click and drag or is it a okay, it looks like you just tag it to whatever it is that you want. Yeah. Up, down, triangle, square. Do they have random? Source, audio in, sidechain, effects out, effects 3, effects out. Macro, LFO, phase. Okay, it doesn't look like they have a randomize. There's a min and max button there to set the modulation range. Oh, I see. Okay, so you just drag it up to where you want the minimum to be, and then you drag it to where you want the maximum to be. Hey, Nate, what's up? I understand now. I mean, yeah, worst case scenario, we can always use modulators on the outside of this. And so that would be one thing that I would personally like is having random modulators on here. Because as far as I can tell, I don't think that it's on there. Source audio in. It does look like it has audio follower though, which is pretty cool. Through. Main out. Audio in. What am I looking for here? I don't see that on any of these. Up, down, triangle, square. Where's through? There's a mix and max, set the modulation range. And then also, what is this? Because this looks, this looks like a routing thing. I've also noticed that they have soft clip built in, so big ups for that. Huge points. Oh, I said true. You typed through. I thought you meant that was an option. It's not me, it's you, bro. Look, you said through, okay? I'm not crazy. Yeah, but I agree. This mixes between serial or parallel. Yeah, I figured. Okay, so this is parallel, but is this like what exactly is A and B? So is this A, B, C, D? Right. But is that in comparison like is this are these the effect slots or does this mean something else? Okay, got it. So this is serial and then or this is parallel and then this would be serial. So everything would move into this as you use two effects. Well, I mean, you know, I haven't oh yeah, see look, here's the let's go. You can make your own pattern with this. Okay, let's see what that sounds like. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, dude. Take care. Yeah, this is cheat code. So it looks like you can only have one instance of each thing on here. It would be cool if you can have multiple instances of like a shuffler into a shuffler into a shuffler or something. How to monkey rascal? He's got tutorials on how he does all that stuff. This was like just like really soft, but is it just saturation? Yeah. Or octaver, pitch highs or lows, frequency content. Yeah. He has a wonky type of groove he likes, pretty unique. Yeah, it's like the have you seen our interview together? Shout out to Joel. Monkey Rascal has been on the channel. Let's check out the grain delay. Sorry, I can't always remember like who is where and you asked the question. It's not you, it's me. I just don't remember. Okay, so with this one, complex granular echoes, 4 engines, crossfading textures. I'm wondering if there's something that I'm not doing right on this one, because I feel like this should be more dramatic with a grain delay. What am I doing here? Okay, there we go. Although I will say for this one, I would like, because the mix is at 100%, I would like that to like flip the whole thing on its head. So it looks like there's a parallel signal within this, or am I? No, these are off. Oh, no, that's in serial. Yeah, I would want this to be like, maybe do like more pitch whipping and stuff on here, but maybe some of the other stuff does that with what I'm looking for. Deep rhythmic complexity, 14 delay taps across 3 stages. Serial is on the left. No, this is parallel. This makes sense to go from this one into this one. This, no, yeah, see, this is parallel. Wait, what? Wait, what the fuck? Okay, yeah, you're right. Depending on how you look at it, like this one, like if we were playing with operator, this one goes into this one, but I guess in this case, this one is, because I'm thinking of the signal flow of these two going down, and this one goes in this one, but I can see the little line now of that. Yeah, okay. That's interesting, yeah. Yeah. Okay, I just heard something in there that I need to pull out because there's actually a clap that I wanted to steal in there. Let me see if I can find it. Is there anything on this? Yes, there is. So I might actually just take that clap. That one. Because we can do like a spin down here. Okay, cool. That helped me come up with a second groove on this. Because if you have this, which should be here, and then you have the kick, there's this beat that I have been chasing for so long, and I actually even sampled it from Robu, which is called Back. And the sound that I wanted is right here, or the groove that I wanted is that. With the cat, the So maybe what I can do is later I'll separate this out, because if we have like something like this, wait, boom, 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 yeah. So we can just leave that there, but that's gonna be our B section right here. Yeah, I appreciate you guys just being patient with me while I finagle with this and finagle and mangle, because sometimes in doing this, it just helps you figure out what you want to do next for the track. So. Oops. Hey, 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 hey. It's like my dog when she wants something. Hey, 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 hey. Dope. Let's see. We can try the shaper. Is this like low, medium, and high? Control the amount of ripples and asymmetry. Engine 1, engine 2, engine 3. So this just looks like some more soft saturation on here with gentle curves. Yeah. And so the dynamics of this are really, this is more so about what it's doing to the louder parts of the sound. Squarifying. I'm imagining the filter. Yeah, you can see. All right, I see. Frequency. Yeah, I think the big takeaway from this is that the sound or the effects of these are really high quality. I don't know, when I first saw this, I didn't really think that it was going to like be all that impressive, but maybe not necessarily from a like crazy modulation standpoint, but from the effects themselves, they, like I said, they sound really good. And I mean, obviously you all be the judge, but I don't know, I don't really have any problems with that, at least on that front. I'm like, yeah, this sounds pretty nice. Sounds pretty subtle. I think they were going for like a vintage, you know what I mean? A vintage look. And I want to say that that's what wasn't that this was inspired by because like obviously like the CRT TVs and all of that. I think it looks fine, you know. Um it has more visual appeal than Snap Heap and Faceplant, you know? I mean, if you look at if you look at this anyway. kind of kind of similar. It's just that this one has more character, which to be fair, like you can change the skin and color of all of this, but I don't really think that's necessary. I'm not really like a crazy skin and color person. I'm more of like, do the colors contrast and does the interface hurt my eyes? And for that, this is not one of those offenders. I think that it's totally fine. Although I will say that for this one in particular, this reminds me of an egg. I don't know. I don't know if that's what they were going for here or if what this was supposed to. It looks fine. I'm wrong. No, no, no. It's an opinion. You can't be wrong on opinion. Well, you can be, but it's that's not. Yeah. Sequencer delay. Let's try that. We're gonna continue working on this track here in a little bit, but I just wanted to take some time to see what this was about. This is gonna be really good on drums. And to be honest with you, as a drum angler and getting cool saturation and stuff, I think that this is gonna be pretty useful. One thing that I would say, let me see what's on here. The reverb, engine, engine number 9. So they at least have they've got 8 different types of reverb on here, which is really cool. I would really like for there to be a convolution reverb. I don't think that would happen, but having a convolution reverb baked into this, for the sake of being able to put your own impulse response, you could do this and you could get with this, but it's not really here or there. What? These are definitely serviceable though for what I would want to do with this. Yeah, okay. Sweet. So I didn't look at everything on the effects and whatnot, but I think that I've seen enough to be like, I like it. I like what I see. I don't. How much is this, by the way? Beatsurfing.com. Let's see what we got here. How much is cheat code? $140. I'd have to spend some more time with it to make a decision on that. But I will say that the effects are really high quality. I think the only discrepancy for me is the overlap. And that's one of the, like the hardest things with effect plugins and stuff these days. Hey, Beat Surfing, how are you? Is what is does this fit certain needs and like does this overlap with perhaps effects and whatnot that you might already have? Because there's no doubt about it. Like all of these sound really good. Um, I do think that a couple of tweaks here and there could really make this stand out in a way. I think that as far as like a wish list thing, having a random modulator, having a convolution where you can put your own impulse response would be like a dream feature personally, because I don't think that this aligns with their philosophy. But like I said, the reason why it'll make sense here in just a second because I'm going to pull up a rack of how I work. But all of this stuff goes right into play. I don't know. You should ask them. They're here in the chat. Thank you so much for showing up, Beat Surfing. But for me personally, because this would be like a go-to thing for drum mangling for my own personal use case. That being said, if there were random modulators, and even though there's 4 inserts, if there was a way to make it to where you can have multiple instances, I think that would be pretty dope. Yeah, the quality of the effects are not even in question, but just as like some wish list things or some means of how I would want to use it. But then again, it's like, who is this targeted for? And for me personally, I feel like this aligns with the rest of their stuff, which you don't. How do I say this? It's meant to be easy to use, and I like that. I just want everything to be super advanced. That's just my own personal, you know what I mean? So in regards to this, I think that there's definitely a lot to be had within that. I don't know. I guess if I can make one more like feature request or something, just a drawable wave shaper right here. If this is already there, like this, I think that this deals with the dynamics of, yeah, so this has to deal with the curve. So this is your quiet, this is like the middle of the sound, I think, and then this is the louder dynamics up here. But if you had like a drawable wave shaper, I think that would be pretty amazing too. Yeah, I'm spoiled. So within this though, let's talk about the drum mangling stuff. I'll show you all a rack about what I do, about how I get more drums. So let me do this very quickly. Okay. So I'm just going to throw this in here for now, because I don't know if I actually want these to be sidechain. But what I would like to, actually no, I'll just do it on the master. Okay, so if we turn off this and we just have the drums, then a lot of times I'll have a rack like this. This is going to get loud here in a second, but nothing too crazy on here. Just convolution reverb, distortion, delay, maybe a frequency shifter, followed by like a gate and OCTs. So fuse compressor, we'll do this like twice. This is going to get loud for a sec. Sorry. There we go. We're going to have one more filter on here to remove some of the harsh higher frequencies on this, like this. And then maybe perhaps a frequency shifter. Maybe. Very quickly, I'm going to grab this OTT here and we're going to change the release and the attack up all the way. Just do this and then I'll duplicate this kind of like so. This is just going to make it super punchy. But ideally you could do without the frequency shifter, but that's part of the reason why I would want a convolution reverb, because you start to get stuff like this. And so the cool thing about this, which I'm going to flip this over to cheat code here in a second, is that when you take this stuff and you throw it back into the original here, a lot of times I'm not necessarily looking for just a loop to throw under this, but what it does is it provides texture to the other hits. And so if we were to do something like this, where I turn all of this off, let me just group this, go here, boom, go like this, and turn this off, and we go into a repitch mode on this, and stretch this out. I'm going to start over here because there's more spaces, negative spaces within this, but if we just listen to this. Okay, so taking a sound like that is really cool. And you hear this, the break on this, of the kick. We'll end up taking that out of the, taking the sub out. But if you listen to this, it gives you some really nice texture that you can put under the kick. Because as of now, the kick is actually relatively clean. And if you sidechain it under the original anyways, you end up getting a texture like this. Minus the click, maybe. Versus... And sometimes this can be really nice for like mid-side stuff, perhaps, as well. So... let's mute this very quickly, and we can place this. Yeah, it just, like I said, it just provides texture under, I don't know why I said it like that, under, I just said it again like that, the under the kick and snare, and sometimes certain accents within this. So it doesn't have to be on every single one, so maybe just like the main hits. So on the one, of course, probably here, and then we can just do this, make sure that there's some alignment. And the other thing too is, in certain cases, you can also move this off like this and replace a kick. No, we want that to be on the one, but let me see. We can do this like here. And what this will do is provide a different accent kick. So and maybe what we can do is, the only thing with this is that you want to make sure that it's short. And then we can find out where the transient of that is. Right. And then add like a filter or something, you know, and it just provides like extra texture that makes the drums sound like it's not just an 808 kit. Nice. So within this stuff, there's a lot of other things that we can explore through it, and it's a little bit slow, so I apologize, but that's kind of interesting. Let me paste this over here. So something with this is an instance that you can use over like a snare or so. Let me listen to this. Right, so I think that you get the point with like bringing in the layering or extra percussive options, but rather than use this stuff, I want to see what I can do with cheat code in regards to the drums and whatnot, and find some other texture that we can find, because it's going to be a different flavor. And like I said, I think that this is really one of the best things that, for me, where I find cheat code would be useful. I mean, you could do this with anything really, but um, most of the time when I'm doing stuff, I'll start with relatively simple drums, and then over time I'll build and just add these cool little texture things and whatnot. This is something that I learned from Chi, and something that I learned from Disproof way back when he had all of these like sample genie tutorials and stuff. It was applied in drum and bass, but you can do this with any genre. But even still, when you're working with this kind of stuff, let's just like clear this out. Um, what we're looking for is just stuff that either sounds interesting rhythmically or stuff that will change the timbre of the initial sound. So when resampling cheat code, I use the randomization. I think that randomization is great, especially from an explorative means. I use it a lot within stuff like Beam, where you can just basically generate a patch and whatnot. At the same time, when it comes into drums, there's very certain things that I'm usually looking for. And so you're going to go down this path, at least in my experience, where like you need to go as far down the rabbit hole as possible. And once you do that, you will start to get a feel for what effects give you what results. And you'll start fishing towards that. And your degree or your refinement of the random is still going to be present, but it's going to be with more developed taste. Does that kind of make sense? Uh, I think that was one of the biggest things that Phase Plant taught me. So, for example, what I would personally want to do is find something like a short reverb, and we'll just place this on there for now. Then something that would send this through some insane distortion. So we'll try Shaper, and we'll change that out for maybe Viber or something. We'll use the grain delay, and then we'll round this out with the shuffles or slash slicer. So one thing that's cool about this is that the soft clip is built into the back end of this. And what that means is no matter how hard I push this, we're not going to, it's going to distort and blow up or whatever, but it's still going to make sure that it's clipped. That being said, of course, I couldn't help but want more instances of the effects, but if this isn't enough, I can always use a second instance. So let's see what this does. So we're going to try to just get this to be really short. Excuse me. We're going to set this to sync, and then I'm going to see if I can play with the frequency to give this like different. Yeah, we're going to adjust this just a bit. Yeah, you see those textures that we're getting off of that? Yeah, you hear that in the mids? That's pretty sick. Oh, I see. Okay. There we go. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, so within this, you actually have 4 different envelopes on here, and then you can stretch them all out and mingle them in that way. Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna reduce the highs just a little bit. That's why like having a master filter could sometimes be nice. So what I did right here was because this is really staccato, and that's actually a good thing, I wanted to switch this out because I can keep the staccato thing and now mess with the grain delay to try to get different chops from really short and stuttered sounds. And that's kind of the philosophy behind what I was doing with the other thing is ideally you're creating transients and then you're just like mangling the transients themselves. And so depending on what you're looking for, if it's just like reverb slop, you know what I mean? It becomes really hard to use. But if you're doing stuff that brings this into a really fine and staccato sense, then what ends up happening is you can mangle those transients to create new percussive loops or to create a texture under a drum hit or to stretch them out and find new grooves. And this was just one of those gateways to try to get the track to start writing itself, is what the big guys call it. To hear 3 envelopes on the slicer, you need space for the crossover splitting into 3 bands. Right now, you only hear the mid band because of the current settings. I definitely hear some highs and some lows in there, I gotta say. But within this, no, these are all short. Yeah, so there should be, because this is just the frequencies of sounds, unless if I'm misunderstanding something. There's definitely some sharp high end in there. I'm gonna adjust this just a little bit. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. The crossover is the horizontal slider. With this. So this initially starts out to where this is just a single band, and then in order for you to have the low, mids, and highs, there needs to be this active. And then does the move shift this all the way over? Again, I hadn't read the manual. I just opened this up and was like, cool, what does this do? So I see. Gotcha. Is there a way to set this to where anytime you pull up an instance, like this is the default? Just because I'm dumb. I mean, I won't forget it, but if somebody else is messing, forgive me, if someone else is messing with that, I don't know if I would have figured that out. Good God. Thanks. No, I gotcha. Yeah, so that stuff is perfect. It's a bit crunched, but you can always turn it down. But once we start taking stuff like this, more towards the end here. Again, apologies for the abrasive stuff, but it'll make sense here in a bit. yeah, we can start taking some of this and being like, all right, well, let's stretch this out. And sometimes it's also cool to just throw this on top, turn it down a little bit, and be like, what does this do? Let me turn this off. Okay, so one thing that I just immediately heard from this, which sounds really cool, is this guy. And so what we can do is bounce that, reverse it. Is it worth it? Let me search it. I put my thing down, flip it in reverse. No, just kidding. But, right? And so we can kind of fade that in and use that as an interesting texture to ride into the rest of the beat, you know? So. Right? I say that a lot. So let's find some other. Ooh. Cool, we found a 6 sound through that. Which within this idea that we started, or that we were kind of bouncing on, you know, something like that might be pretty fucking sick, actually. The only thing with this is I would want this to be like that, maybe. Maybe like. So like boom, boom, boom. Yeah, you know, so there's a concept right there that we can play with getting into the next piece. Dope. And this is just how I work, by the way. I just usually have a bunch of chaos and then throw stuff together, but. And sometimes, like, you might be searching for one thing and find something completely different through this. Okay, things like that I really like. Just like clanky, you know. Let's see what else. Okay. Let's see what this sounds like. And then we could just take like this. And then I think that we're good for the most part on stuff. But now we've got a few different things that apply a little bit more. Came from the demo video. Sounds nasty. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it. So as the track develops, we can throw some of this stuff into the second part and start to find little moments where we've got some negative space to create like the cool little one-off moments. So like, let's go ahead and turn this off. We'll turn this back on, and I'm just going to try to fit these in some places that might have some cool and interesting moments. So, you know, so not there, but so maybe like this. Let's see what this stuff. Maybe what we can do is place this right here as well. Make this a little bit higher just because of the repitch. Okay, cool. Sorry, this is like probably hurting your eyes with how much I'm like doing this, but I want this to be a little bit further out because it needs to sound almost dotted. Yeah, so. I think right here. Okay, now with this, we can use this maybe as like a reverse sound. Make it a little bit shorter. On the right here at the 4 bar. Sick. Let's go ahead and EQ that in. It's not quite where I want it, but the idea is there. Okay. Now with this, boom, maybe like we can roll that over, like here. Here. There we go. See, now that creates that bounce right there. Maybe like here, because I want it to be like dun 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 dun. So yeah, awesome. I don't know why I just did that, but find something different here. Okay, so this little guy has some shaker quality to it. So one thing that we can do just to mash this up a little bit is we can use a ring mod on here and go into low pass noise and just see what this does. Along with some EQ. Yeah, so we can just align this with some of the other percussion here. So you see how this is like a bit off. We can just place it. I don't know why it does that. Look, I'm dragging this over and it will go this way, but it won't go this way. Does anybody else, have any of you all experienced that bug before in Bitwig? I don't know what the fuck. Hey, thank you for the follow. Dun, dun, da. Okay, now within this, we can go. Boom, boom, boom. Bounce that out. And pitch it and reverse it. Cool. I'd probably want to do that here, though. And we can just create that as a fill. There was a little thing that I put under this. Like that. We can just move that over. We don't really need to do a second fill right here, so that way this moment is kind of unique. Also, why isn't that turning on? Bass and melody pluck have a nice organic quality. Yeah, I mean, well, the bass is from low, for one. This is just like, there's literally nothing on here except a little bit of clipping, and it sounds really good. And I think that's what low caters to best, is just, you know, stuff like this. I'm like, okay, sweet. I didn't have to do anything. Where normally, like, if I was gonna make this in phase plant, which I do, you know, and there's a time and a place for control or like for adding specific harmonics, you know. I will say that there is something to be said for wavetables, you know, and building harmonics and, you know, understanding this. But just to give you like a purpose or like a case and purpose of like how long it takes to get something that is equally sizable is what I just made. You'd have to pretty much make something like this and then go here, then you'd have to go into your envelope, create everything. And even then it's still, you know, and which is fine if you're used to it, but if you're not, you know what I mean? Like, this is why sometimes plugins like this can be nice. And then we need another one here to do this. But you can see, like, I have returned. You can see that there's a lot of trial and error that I'm having to set up with this, for one. But all of these envelopes and whatnot that you see on this are already set up within low. So if we go back to this, it's just, look, there's my pitch impact, the pitch drop. Well, this is more for like aftertouch, I believe, for like when you release the key or whatever. And then even though you don't necessarily have a harmonic builder, all of these have harmonics built into them that you can modify. And the ease of use with this is a lot more immediate. And I think that's the big thing, is the immediacy is kind of my the major thing that I would describe with low in itself. I was gonna ask though, because I know that we're supposed to chat at some point. Is there a dedicated way to create a reset of this, like, or like a fast way? Other than say like 2 instances running at this in parallel and detuning one of them, because I think that would be maybe the big thing for me that I would like to see, is just being able to create, because I know that it's monophonic, but having either like an introduction to, maybe through Mammoth. Okay. I have a second instance that I was experimenting with. Is there a way to... Yeah, it's close. It detunes only the harmonics and not the fundamental and first harmonics. Yeah, so maybe if we sent that through distortion, that would create what I'm looking for. I don't need it to be a clean saw wave Reese, but if anything, having something like that where like, I'm just going to show here because it's going to be easier to do, but let's say you've got an interesting wavetable on paper. Now, and this is just out of curiosity, is there FM happening on at all on low? Like, is that built in the engine at all? Because if there is, then doing something like this would be totally serviceable, where you just detune the harmonic that's FMing the original source and then sending that through saturation. Sorry, not telling you stuff I already know. This is more for the viewers. Just for as a means of what I'm... Like, even that would be serviceable, you know? Which is actually how I do most of my neurobases these days anyways, but that's neither here nor there. In fact, this is actually kind of nice. So you could do something like this where you can layer this like so. Synthesis engine, no, not really relying on standard things like FM or wavetable. Aim for the same kind of sounds, but with a twist. Yeah, I got you. So we can actually use this a little bit as a layer over this. Maybe not every time, but maybe during the certain moments like that you can utilize to layer. I really like the low of this, of just keeping it subtle, but having certain accents on here can sometimes be nice. The only thing with that is I need to control the release of this. Actually, what would be cool with this as well is if we did a mid-side thing where I do think that this has a stereo control on this, so we can use this. Yeah. And with the sides on that, we might just want to set this up here to where it's got a little bit more release and transient shaping. Sorry guys, I'm really detail oriented. I apologize. It looks like Sublab on acid, and I'm very fascinated. That's kind of what my initial impression was of the plugin, but I think that I think on acid is a better way to describe it because they lean more in towards like, I think Sublab is all about like clean subs, you know, oh, get your sub right or whatever. And this kind of has a solution for that, but it's like here's a little more. here's a little more, like a little more texture, a little more umph. Yeah. So like a yeah. Okay. So now we need to figure out what we want to do for this part. I know, right? So much, thank you. So much pressure. No, it's fine. I do this all the time. Okay, so what we can do now is throw this on here with the kick. And what I'd like to do is like a tape stop to where it's like boom, 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 and then switch up, excuse me, switch up the clap. And where are my drums? Yeah. So like a bounce this out. I love Bitwig. Being able to have hybrid clips is just, it's just so nice. Do some pitching here, just as a placeholder. And then we can throw this back over this way. One, two, three. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Let's just do this one more time. There we go. Getting into our 4-bar loop. Yeah, sick. Now, I wonder if there's a way that... I don't know if I can do that or not. I need to move to Bitwig. I mean, you can do a lot of the same stuff in Ableton. I mean, really, like the final boss of sound design is this guy. Rolling sampler takes care of everything, and it makes plugins like cheat code and phase plan or what the flip ever like so much easier or so much more useful, because like how often do you do something cool and you have a happy accident and you're like, oh man, that was so cool, but I wasn't recording. Rolling sampler. And you're like, oh wait, I have everything from the last 10 minutes. Let me just drag it out. Oh, and it goes to a folder? Well, shoot, okay. So there is that, but okay, so I don't think that I'm gonna be able to isolate the clap from this, but I'm gonna give myself 3 minutes to find another clap that's like this. And if I can't, I'm just gonna make one. So, and actually it might even, maybe I should just make a clap, because it would be a good opportunity to showcase the 7 Deadly Snares, which I have a review on as well. I think that 7 Deadly Snares is a really nice companion to especially making stuff like claps. I will say, if they added a soft clipper, that would be big money. A soft clipper and like an immediate fundamental would be the shit. So with this guy, is this on a... Oh, this is on a... It's on an audio track. Let's go to 8th note. We're going to go here. We're going to add a filter. Bandpass. Duplicate. Shit. Sorry. Fumbling. There we go. Sold me again. First beam. Now this monstrous bass machine. I'm really like, this isn't a sponsored video, by the way. I'm just making music. So I think something that's really important is they're not paying me for this. They did send me the plugins, which thank you, Beat Surfing. I'm glad that I can show my gratitude in front of you. But I'm really more so about like, here's what the plugin does, and if it works for you, then great. If it doesn't work for you, then you know what I mean. At least you have a more informed decision. So I think that it's this one. I think it's this one and the blue one, because what this does is like it's a mixture between a synthesis engine and also some samples. Not quite sure. That's the thing with all of their plugins, is I'm not quite sure how they all work. But as a means of generating texture over this, if you listen to this, this is a really nice way to just add a little bit of flair. Which one was... What was the clap one? This was the water one. But I feel like there was another engine that was just straight up for claps. This might actually work, minus the low. Reverb time, reverb, impact. Okay, so now is going to be the annoying part where I make all of these transients line up. And what I'm also going to do is set a high pass filter on this, because There we go. That was pretty easy. We're going to grab a filter now and do my dirty tricks. I will advertise if you're interested in learning how to make drums like me. I have master classes on the website and also Arcana memberships. And if you really want to make drums like me or even better than me, then I would say go hit up Chi and Cage for lessons on drum design, because that's where I got all this shit from. Chi! I haven't talked to him in a while. I miss him. Okay, so one thing with this is I want to try to remove the length just a little bit. And all right, I'm going to try not to spend too much time on this. But let's pull this up. And I'm going to grab a clipper. This goes on everything. It's just what I do. But one thing that I want to try is I want to see what this is going to sound like with... Now, disclosure, I may end up going back to the other saturator just because I'm looking for a specific sound of what I'm used to, but I am going to try these distortions out and see if I can get what I'm looking for. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to grab an instance of the glue and just smash this very quickly. I'm going to turn this off for a sec. Doc Show. You guys are probably too young to remember that. This is off. What am I doing? Sorry.
Recording to logbook.
I actually like the sound of that, because it's more of like a boom. Okay, we still got a little bit of headroom to work with. It's not bad. Do Native Instruments have any synths I currently use for anything? I use Contact every once in a while. But like every once in a while. There we go. Okay, so let's just get that checkpoint out of the way and pull that in here. Boom. We want to move this to a new track though, just because if I don't, then it's going to have all of the other processing on there again, and I don't really want to do that. Turn that off. Let's see what this sounds like with the context of the track. Wait, what are you doing? Okay, that's what I'm doing. Okay. Now, one thing that I want to try here is just moving this back just a little bit. And then I'm going to push this just a little bit more. Maybe fade it out. Now I'm going to move this just a little bit early and see what that sounds like. So there's going to be some experimentation with trying to get the groove right on this. So I appreciate your patience. But let's see what that does. Because I wanted to go boom. It needs to push just a little bit more. So yeah, there we go. Okay. Hey, hey. Take your time. This is amazing. Thank you. Cool. So now what we can do is maybe I'll duplicate, or no, maybe I'll introduce this idea, because we have an instance of random on here, which you all haven't heard yet, but it's just random, which is nice. Now, one thing that I wanted to do with this is take away the bass tails of this. So maybe something like that. It's not mixed yet, but maybe even not. Maybe just boom, boom, bump, boom, boom, bump. Because, or maybe here. And the reason why is because there's a really important part where I'm missing the rhythm of the, and that's like that is like the groove for me, and that's the most important thing that I'm trying to pay attention to. So maybe putting this here, I think that that's what I meant to do. So anytime that there's the downbeat and getting in the way of this, I think that I just want that to be clean. So like a, yeah, I think that's the way that I want to go with that. Um, Now on this, we can go like this. So boom. I already know that I'm going to want a space right there. So we can maybe even go like, something like that. And then we can bring back the original idea. All right. Now we can mess with this just a little bit. I like that. So maybe we can pull back on this. I want that to be just a little bit drier. Now, what we can do with this is a pitch bend. Oh, this might not be able to do that, so we can just do it here. No worries. And maybe by 2 semitones. So now we can be like, so boom, 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 you know. And with this, again, I'm so particular about the groove because this is like the most important part with what makes this track bounce, in my opinion. So now we can start to play with a different vibe or a different bass line that can bounce in a little bit differently. So okay, that wasn't supposed to happen, but it's kind of cool. Now right here, I know that I'm going to want a bounce or like a rubber band type thing. So I can just hear it. Right here, I want a boing. I don't know how else to describe that, but I want it to be like boing. So we're gonna go into the pitch impact here and make this go up. Maybe not that much. Like, yeah, actually. Sweet. So this is just like a, a nice little way to introduce that. We can throw another instance of this on here. And really we just need a reverb. I don't know if this colors the sound if everything is off. So let me see, because it's not a big deal, but it's just something to consider. Okay, I can't tell, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. Sometimes whenever you turn stuff on, there's like phase rotation or something happens with, like there's just some color baked into the sound or whatever, and that's why in certain cases I'll turn something like this off, unless if I need like CPU or whatever. But within this, we can just automate the mix on here to where this is off, on, sure, whatever. Mix, there we go. Just pull that down. So now, and that gives us just a little bit more of a contrast to what's getting ready to happen. And not only that, but we can use that sound that we used at the beginning of the intro here, now that I think about it. And lead into the next piece. Do I think I'll release it? Maybe. It just depends on how it turns out, But I'm just having fun working on stuff, and yeah, I apologize. I know that it's slow. The process is slow, but that's just how music production works. It's not just like, for me anyways, I can't just be like duplicate, duplicate, and it's done. I have to be very intentional with what I'm doing for a track like this anyway. Uh, okay, so for this part, um, I like this fill. We're just gonna move it over here. We're just gonna move it over there. And then for this guy, we'll take the last bar of this guy and move this over here. We'll do something different, but I wonder what this will sound like if I grab this, go yoink. I just said that I don't duplicate, but whatever. This needs to be off. Is there something else over this? Well, there's this, which isn't supposed to be there, but is there something else that's over this? Wait, what happened? What's going on here? Oh, that's what's going on here. I was like, what happened? I think this was supposed to be... Oh, this was a different instance of this. Okay, so let me back up. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Sorry. Yeah. I mean, like I said, the main, other than the drums, the main components of the sound are all from beat surfing stuff. So and then what we can do here is, I want to see what this is gonna... Yeah, that's pretty dope. Let's get that boing in there. Yeah, thanks for coming in, Screed. Maybe what I can do on this as well is, I'm curious what this is going to sound like. I think I experimented with this before, but... Yeah, I'd have to create a separate instance for this, and what's it called? Treat this a little differently because there's some stuff in here that's creating some of these crazy resonances. Which is still cool, but I love how dingy that sounds. This is nothing that a little EQ can't fix. It's right there. There we go. Dope. So now that we have that, Okay, so what I think I want to do now is we're going to pull out lunch table. And what I'm going to do here is, forgive me, because I'm just going to loop this with just this. It's expected to be used as see here creatively. There's also an argument, though, to be made for, like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And that's kind of, like, why it's nice to have things like that. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, gotcha. I'm actually not even worried about, like, I'm going to find that later, but I was just trying to get the rhythm of what I wanted. I love the basketball. I actually like that sound. Okay, now what I'll do is we're going to loop this. And what we're going to do is we're just going to make some weird shit. That's cool. These are all things that I can use at the beginning. Okay, hold on. There was a sound in here that made like the womp womp, and that's really cool. I've actually never made that before. Less my cup of tea, but I can see why some people like it. I think that yeah, it's just one of those things that are nice to have. Okay, let me find this really fast wherever that was because that was super cool. Yeah, this is dope. Hey, what's up, board music? Let me mute this very quickly and then let's figure out if this will fit within here just as another fill sound. And we will probably need to just consolidate it into. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. You see how like there's this instance of like the boom boom boom. Didn't we have like a metal scraping sound in here somewhere, which I thought was really cool? Maybe we can. We can do like a triple hit right here. So I think we can do, switch this up right here so we can go. Something like this. Because I really want this to go into like a clanky. Excuse me. Yeah, so that would probably be the next idea for where I want the beat to progress, because coming back into that and maybe bringing back in like a random metal thing with like a descending pitch fall or something. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I'm going to color this differently, like red, and that would be how this would stem into like the next piece before it goes, because I'm not really going to like do a break and then like another thing. I'm just going to have like different sections to the track, because this is already kind of like a break, this little guy, right? Yeah, that's dope. Woo! That's kind of spicy. Yeah. What happened to my hats though? Because I think that doing that on the second piece here would be good. And then what is this? Okay, no. I think this is just some other stuff. Let's see what this does. Okay, so what I'm going to do right here is we're going to move this way. We're going to turn this up a lot. There we go. So getting really comfortable with leaving these open spaces now is one of the best things I think that helps with a genre like this, because if you notice now, I'm cutting in certain cases where there's a lot of percussion, and so that way it's not just everything overlapping with itself. But I find that for genres like halftime, or like I don't really know what to call this genre. I just call it bounce. Um and I think that's what a lot of other people call it. Just some kind of it's bouncy, whatever. Um Being very peculiar about spaces and about negative space, and filling things with reverb and having overlapping sounds is the biggest consideration when it comes to making this work, in my opinion. Because you can still make a track like this that sounds um, like it has the push and pull with not as good quality sounds, but you have to control the spacing of everything. Because if you listen to this, there's a little bit of tail on this, not much, but on this one especially, right? And so if you have reverb that's overlapping, it's starting to compete with itself, but it's also competing with like the little things like this that really make the biggest difference of that the hits of the beat. You know, that took a boom, like that's the most important part that I feel like pushes this entire thing. And that's why I've been so obsessed with making this style of track from the reference, is because they nailed it in such a way that has way less tracks than mine. Like it's way more simple, but it hits like 10 times as hard just because of the simplicity of it. But the mastery of their spacing and timing is really something to be said. Yeah, I really like that part. So it might be best to even yeah. Because again, like for something like this, I really want the impact of that sound to stick out. So this is such a short time for this to be expressed, right? And so part of that I think will help is doing that. There we go. I was like, why isn't that sound doing the thing? It's not doing the thing. Okay, what happened here? So what I'm gonna do, because I don't know why that's. Is there a snare right there? No. Yeah, I don't know why that's not going through. I'm just going to take the audio of this and just place it below where this is supposed to be, because for whatever reason that's not doing the thing. It's not doing the thing. So we can just place it there instead and then just cut it off. Make sure that the tails are here. It's supposed to be here. Wait, it's doing it there now too. So that tells me that something is inside of the sidechain that's not supposed to be there. Oh, it's the kick. Okay. else is going on with this? This. Let's see if I can find a pitch whip right here. Okay, or we could just make one. Let me find something that has a tone. Sorry. Or we could do like a ta-da. That could be cool. Yeah. Hey, hey. Um. Do like a blast right there of that really nice top end. Oh, dude. The chugs. I don't know what else to call it, but the chugs. Hey, hey, hey. Sick. Okay. So one thing that I'm going to do now is I'm going to add one of my favorite tricks here. Give me a second to coordinate with this. Okay, so within this, I am going to throw this in the percussion. Right? No. Yes. No. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this into the disc tube. I'm going to send the kick in here as well into the disc tube. And now if we listen to that, we get a really nice crunch. And so I can just throw this in on every bar. I might want to take the low end out of this, maybe. You don't need that much high end. But it's just a really nice texture maker. Thanks, Cage. Got that one from him. Yes, please. We're going to find a snare right there. I'm not going to make one. I don't feel like it. Maybe I will make one. It's like it's like a classic of mine. Yeah, maybe that one. Yeah. And then take off everything else over that. Yeah. Maybe I can even do this again. That might even be cool. Dope. For this, I am going to need to use a traditional synth because I want to do like a riser on there. So like a wee. Let's just do like 48, maybe. And I'm just going to adjust this. There we go. Sorry. It's just fucking sounds like this, man. Like they're so goofy on their own, but that might actually be even cooler. Yeah, but stuff like this is really fun because it just there we go. It just gives you like really cool energy to work with and provides like a lot of hype. Maybe every other one. And whoop. That's pretty dope. What happens if I pitch the whole thing up by 12? there a filter on that? Oh. Yeah, I was like, that sounds awfully quiet. Now it sounds awfully loud. Throw another ring mod on this. What group is this? This all looks like it's part of one. Oh, it is. Okay. It's like, what? That should be a contrasting color to everything else. Yeah, something like that I think would be pretty cool. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this so far. Maybe what we can do is we can work on the intro. Does anybody have any questions about this? I think that, if I'm not mistaken, okay, so what I'm going to do here is on the second half of this, right there, yeah, I do want a rim shot, but not that one. Maybe something like this could be fine. That's actually really cool. There we go. Cool. Let's grab some other stuff here. So now we can play with some of the other effects and things that we can maybe do something like this. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but we could try. I do like that. That sounds pretty cool. But what I would want to do is give it a little bit of there we go. The fuck? Okay, let's go ahead and build a riser now out of something. Maybe I'll do a synthesized one, but I'm just gonna look through some of this stuff and see if we have any good material. That might actually work. Okay. Well, that's pretty good so far. Shit. Does anybody else have any questions about anything? Or even for you, is there anything that you all would like me to try beat surfing as an experiment, or something else that you'd like me to showcase with this stuff? I do have one more thing that I want to dabble with, just for the next part, switching that up. Um, it would be cool to what's on my master channel. That's a good question. So I have disc tube culture chords. I don't think so. Not for this kind of track. But yeah, I'm mixing into a disc tube culture, which I don't always do. But if I want like a heavy textured track like this, then I'll do that. This is just a mid side EQ. And then the rest of this stuff, like this is a clipper, but it's just on. And then the same thing with the limiter, it's just on. Snap heap shouldn't be doing anything. Yeah, that should actually be off. Or I don't need that. I was comparing that. So yeah, the only active stuff it really is the disc tube culture and then the clipper and limiter, but like these aren't coloring the sound at all. And then after the Pro L, I have the rolling sampler because that way if I'm rebouncing anything, it is already clipped, already limited. And so I know that it's going to be easy to use in the future for all of the other stuff. Like if I wanted to reuse some of the drums or whatever. Yeah, and I think that I definitely would say that um, the beat surfing plugins really facilitated a lot of this stuff because, like, for one, like I had talked about creating the sub and how much easier that was. But even for things like random metal, like if you're into car plus modeling and whatnot, the kind of work that goes into this is pretty can get pretty crazy. Um, I'm no stranger to physical modeling, but maybe not to a degree that they do it. I don't want to do this from scratch, but actually, let me show you all this other project very quickly because it helps paint the picture of how much work goes into something like this. What is it? This one? I think it's this one. Do I have tacos recently? Debating putting potatoes in my next one. I'd say give it a shot. What do you have to lose? You could always take them out. So yeah, sound designing this from scratch. This is the right track. This thing is deceptively annoying to design. And let me find the patch because I don't remember where it is. Nope. 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 Yeah. Okay. So look at all this stuff in here that I've had to design, which actually like the mastery behind it. I guess this patch isn't too complicated, but figuring this out, and getting something that's even tonal like this with the comb filters, and I would still call this a custom comb filter. Short delays, convolution reverb, like all of the modeling that goes into something like this. Even for, let me show you all something more crazy and interesting. Some of these super patches like Requiem 3. Let's just pull up Dirty Breadstick. You'll see that there's a rusty metal thing on here. And getting this right with key tracking and having these comb filters and stuff follow through in order to get like interesting timbres. Sorry, let me turn this on, the metal. And then changing that into percussion, which the percussion aspect of this, let me show you that. Is that under Snap Heap or is it under, sorry, let me figure out what else is on here. Here it is. Getting shit like this but making it actually be controllable and have something that does the same thing every time is kind of, in my opinion, like the package that this comes into play with something like random metal, because it you don't have to mess with any of that stuff. It's all there for you. So, taking a look at these kinds of things, all of that work that I just showed you, plus I think a bunch more crazy stuff is already baked within this. And yeah, it's just nice and convenient to be able to do that sometimes. I'm weird, man. I like to do everything from scratch, but that doesn't necessarily take away the value of anything else. But working on things like this is actually one of my favorites on here for this kind of genre specifically, because like they already have kits that are ready to go. And if you hit the random thing on here, uh, sorry, I wanted to randomize the whole thing, but it just, it creates percussion for you. And if you need to have more control over it, is there a way that I can, it's been a while since I've used this. Is there a way to highlight all of these and to just like, to move the decay on all of them? That would be a cool update if that doesn't exist, of like, take all of these and then just make them all really short. Or be able to have, to control all of the master controls on that. That would be cool. But yeah, but it's super dope because you can work with this stuff. And if you have some physical modeling experience, yeah. If you were to take off the melody of this, for the first 6 months, I coded physical things that ended up throwing away. I was depressed, and then finally started to figure out on the last months, it's like making music at some point. Right, because like I would say the way that stuff talks to each other, right? It's interesting, like, and that's part of the reason why I love sound design, is because there is a science approach to it, but at a certain point, when you start getting things to react to each other and it starts to sound more alive, um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think that I could ever develop a plugin personally just because of that. Like, I just don't have it. I don't have it in me. But that's the magic, is the nuance, and that's the difference that a lot of people don't see. And that's what I was trying to explain with the low plugin as well. And forgive me, because I think that Eric was telling me that, I don't know who I'm talking to right now, but Eric was telling me that I made a few mistakes on the review, so I apologize about that. But every plugin that that's on here from beat surfing has some kind of philosophy like that. And whether or not it's going to work for everybody is one thing. Hey, Pascal. But the other thing about it is, it it's definitely unique. You don't really get this kind of stuff from anything else, at least not without putting a lot of work into it. I would still love a dev version to where maybe I could take a look at all the other stuff of all the networking that's going on into that. um but yeah, I mean, I imagine it's some very similar processing stuff to how I create things. I just did like the sabbatical way of just using pre-made effects and whatnot to come up with like the percussion and the things like that. But yeah, I don't know. What was I going to do? I was going to do something. Yeah. Oh, that's what I was going to do. So if you mute this and you just like were to play this over a thing, Uh, Made you remember the track Fat Manual, Hermit Lobby, same wonky groove. Yeah, it's like I said, I really feel like the stuff that you all made was really catered towards this, or like the tonal percussive trap, you know, because even if it's like, yeah, like even that would be pretty cool. So it would need to be turned up, but this like, if I were to turn off all of the other stuff on here, let me just grab this and like throw an OTT over it, but as a means of having something that is more rhythmic, and the reason why I like this music is because it feels very tribalistic to me. Right. And so if we were to turn this off, you hear like the the motion and the rhythm with it, and because it's suggesting a timbre but not really uh a definable pitch, when you do start to add, you know, like take all this other like detail away, for one, just make it a little bit more simple. So let me just mute this other stuff and just have the where is the other texture over this? I think that I had like a crash or something. Yeah, here it is. So like if we have another instance of low and you just have a sub that's like, you know what I mean? What key is this in? I don't even remember. Oh, it's in D. Okay. So let's mute all this other stuff, you know, and it's like, you know what I mean? Like you can still get some pretty sick shit. It's actually not a bad idea. I do rely on the syncopation and like not having a lot of stuff bleed over. But as you can tell, when you make tribalistic beats like this, having that kind of percussion, the trash can sounds and whatever is really conducive. And um, I'm curious, have you all collaborated with Robu by chance? I think Minosaur would also be somebody to reach out to. I think Minosaur is the guy, is also the dude that um, does the Cable Guys stuff. But yeah, I mean, well, shit. I mean, really reach out to Chi and Cage and John Casey. Those guys would be the ones. But as far as content creators go, I feel like Minosaur would be another really awesome person to talk to. Because I actually hadn't heard his music until actually last night, and he makes a lot of stuff like this as well. But he's a content creator that makes like way higher production value than I do. I like my stuff organic, and I can't be bothered to sit down and edit videos. Maybe one day I'll be able to afford one, but as of now, I'm more of a less tell, more show. And I like doing stuff like this because people actually get to see the process of how it unfolds, and this is more of a realistic use case about um yo, check out this thing I made, but I'm not going to show you how I did it, and it could actually not even be from the synth. You know, it's more of, hey, let me stumble through this and actually give you a realistic expectation of what your studio session might look like. If, yeah, I don't know. Or I'm just lazy because I don't like editing. Call it what you want. So, yeah, I think that I'm going to continue working on this track probably on Wednesday. I feel like there's something that I'm supposed to be doing and I'm scared because I can't remember. But other than that, I don't really have anything else that I want to do today. I just want to listen to this a few times and then I'll figure out what I want to do for the next step. But we made some really good progress and I really appreciate you all coming in and hanging out with me. Also, Beat Surfing, thanks so much for sending me your stuff. It means a lot. Feel free to use any of the stuff that I've used in this video. Eric and I have already talked about that. Um, does anybody have any last questions or anything before I dip out? I think we had a solid 3 hours of streaming, and I'm like, okay, I feel pretty good about this to where it feels like a nice time to take a break. Um, did I switch from Ableton to Bitwig? Yeah, I did. And if you all have a bunch of questions, feel free. I'm not in a rush to leave, but I think that my brain is fried for a bit. Uh, yeah, I still have Ableton Live 12, but I've had Ableton since 2014, and then I switched over in 2019. I think the biggest thing for me was hybrid workflow, the modulators, bounce to audio, which Ableton just recently added 10 years later. Stepped out the swamp with 10 and a half gators. And I still use Ableton for teaching. It's a great, it's a great DAW. I just think that Bitwig is better for me. Dope stream, bro. Thanks. Yeah, dude. Thanks for coming in. I had a great time today. I'm really glad this worked out too. I do fear like if I'm ever doing a showcase for like a plugin or whatever, and I'm like, hey, this is what this does. I always worry about making some bad shit. But I feel like today worked out really well. And I think part of it has just been consistent. I've been spending so much time doing music and samples and stuff the past month just because of my knee situation. For those of you who don't know, I've got lesion on my trochlea, and so my ability to jump has been severely dampered, which I'm hoping to get some injections in a couple of weeks, but it's not looking good, long story short. So I'm like, all right, well, if I can't, go and do flips and punch people in the face, then I will focus on beats and get on the bike instead for my physical needs. It's kind of been what I've been doing. Also, I wanted to say I'm thinking Saturday. Yeah, I'll probably make an announcement for those of you who are still here. I'm thinking that Saturday we'll do a feedback stream, and let me leave a link to the Discord. Discord. For one, you can submit your quick play spells here, but two, if you hop in here with the Alchemy's feedback stream, then the Q&A feedback, then what I'll do is I'll open this up and you can join me on stream and we can have a quick chat. I'll listen to your track and then we can have a one-on-one dialogue. Copycat does it. I totally stole it from him, but I really like the way that he does it. And I think that Saturday would be a good time to do this. I don't do this every week. I don't even do it every month, but I think, yeah, that would be a good thing. Finally, check out beatsurfing.com. You all are having a sale right now, if I'm not mistaken. And then for me, I actually just ended my Black Friday sale. But if you're interested in courses or interested in my sounds, alchemy.com. For the rest of you, much love. Thank you just for even being here. If you could like the video, that'd be amazing. Help me get into the algorithm. And other than that, I am going to go feed my dog. So much love, guys. I really appreciate you. And I will see you all on Wednesday. Have a good one.